Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking some absolutely powerful insights on how to completely reshape your financial future starting right now. You know, navigating money in your 20s can feel like a high-pressure puzzle that nobody actually gave you the instructions for. You're out there trying to figure out your career, your personal life, and somehow manage your bank account all at the exact same time. It's a lot. So let's dive right into this and look at the 7 smart purchases that can literally pull you off the financial hamster wheel and set you up for absolute freedom. It is so easy to feel like you're stuck in financial quicksand right now. Think about it. You're standing there watching everyone around you finance cars they absolutely cannot afford. Or maybe they're taking out massive student loans for degrees that somehow just land them a job pulling espresso shots at Starbucks. And let's be real, it's incredibly relatable to see people complaining about being totally broke while simultaneously ordering DoorDash 3 times a week. It's a vicious cycle and it traps a lot of people. So it really boils down to 2 very different paths. On one hand, we've got the standard 20s lifestyle. This is your average 20-something trying to look incredibly successful on Instagram, financing $30,000 cars and buying stuff just to keep up appearances. But then on the other hand, we have the wealth builder. This person is quietly making the unsexy choices, buying boring index funds, driving a 5-year-old Toyota, and focusing on becoming rich later. It's the ultimate battle, really, looking rich today versus actually being wealthy tomorrow. All right, let's get into section 1, the 20s wealth myth, spending now versus building later. So many people operate under this completely backwards idea that your 20s are exclusively for spending money on experiences and your 30s are for, finally getting serious about your finances. But waiting until your 30s to care about money, it's like deciding to start training for a marathon the day before the actual race. It just doesn't work. To break that myth, we really have to understand compound interest. This is the core anchor of our entire explainer today. And listen, compound interest isn't just about money, it's the principle that all your decisions multiply exponentially over time. If you take $100 and invest it wisely at age 25, it becomes thousands by the time you're 50. But if you spend that exact same $100 on something that depreciates, it fades into nothing but a memory, and maybe some credit card debt. Time is your ultimate unfair advantage here.
Moving right along to section 2, invest in your potential. The first purchases.
These first strategic purchases, they aren't about stocks or bonds just yet. They're entirely focused on multiplying your skills, your knowledge, and expanding your worldview. Purchases number 1 and 2 are a side hustle and education. Now, people often think side hustles are totally free to start, but successful ones actually require a strategic upfront investment. Whether you're buying tools for a service business, camera equipment, or just website hosting, you're buying a vehicle to change your financial trajectory. And this pairs perfectly with education. Now, actually, scratch that. I'm not talking about taking on massive student debt. I mean $20 books that literally change your money mindset, or spending a few $100 on legitimate courses to boost your marketplace value. Just please avoid those gurus posing next to rented Lamborghinis. Focus on real skills from real experts.
Okay, purchase number 3 might surprise you, the strategic plane ticket. Now, I am not talking about blowing your life savings to look cool online. When done strategically, traveling builds incredible self-reliance and confidence by forcing you to navigate unfamiliar environments and solve problems on the fly. But here's the real financial secret. You do this by using a travel rewards credit card for your normal everyday expenses, collecting the points, and paying that balance off in full every single month, no exceptions. You get discounted travel, and more importantly, you build a massive credit score that's going to be incredibly valuable later for real estate.
Which brings us to section 3, the compound wealth engines, putting money to work. Purchase number 4 is the heavy lifter, index funds. These are the quiet, reliable investments that run in the background and just do the heavy lifting while you're out there living your life. And guys, the math behind this is absolutely shocking. If you invest just $200 a month into an index fund starting at age 22 at a 10% return, you'll have over $1 million by age 67. Think about that. That's less than $7 a day to become a millionaire. But if you wait just 10 years and start at age 32, you end up with about $700,000 instead. Waiting a single decade literally cost you $300,000.
Now, to really supercharge those index funds, you want to use a Roth IRA. The beauty of the Roth IRA is that your gains grow completely tax-free. Every single dollar of growth stays right in your pocket, instead of going straight to Uncle Sam. It's like having a brilliant backup plan running quietly in the background. And the absolute key to making this work is automation. Set it up so the money gets invested before it ever even hits your checking account. Out of sight, out of mind, right? If you never see the money, you simply won't spend it.
Purchase number 5 is the big one that honestly scares a lot of people: real estate.
But even if you aren't rolling in cash, there are some really creative ways to make this work. Real estate builds wealth through 3 accelerators. The property appreciates in value over time, rental income helps pay the mortgage, and you use leverage, which basically means using other people's money to control a massive asset with just a small down payment. A fantastic strategy for your 20s is called house hacking. You buy a duplex, live in one side and rent out the other, or you just rent out rooms in a single-family home. Basically, you are letting other people pay your mortgage while you build the equity.
Now for Section 4, Dodging the Wealth Traps, Avoiding Financial Quicksand.
So we've got our wealth engines built, but none of it matters if you fall into the most common trap out there. $600,000. That is the true opportunity cost of a car payment. Think about it. If you avoid financing a car and instead take that $500 monthly payment and invest it at an 8% return for 30 years, you gain over $600,000. That is the real cost of your car. It's not just the monthly payment, it's the massive amount of wealth you just completely missed out on building. Our source perfectly describes buying a new car. It's like lighting money on fire, except less fun. Cars are depreciating liabilities. They are absolutely not investments. The second you drive a new car off that lot, it loses thousands in value. So purchase number 6 is the ultimate wealth building move. Buy a 3 to 5-year-old reliable Honda Civic or Toyota Corolla for $10,000 to $15,000 in cash. They run literally forever if you maintain them, they're super cheap to repair, and stripping away that monthly payment buys you the freedom to invest and actually take some risks in your career.
And that leads us perfectly into Section 5, the ultimate performance enhancer, your health. Which brings us to the 7th and final purchase, and it's the one that gets overlooked the most, your health. You can have the absolute best index funds and the greatest real estate portfolio in the world, but your physical energy is directly tied to your ability to actually execute all of these financial strategies we've been talking about. And we aren't talking about $1,000 fancy gym memberships here. We're talking about the basic, unsexy health requirements that people in their 20s constantly ignore because, well, they feel invincible. Step 1, eat good food and drop the energy drinks. Step 2, get regular sleep and stop pulling those all-nighters. Step 3, get some form of regular exercise and move off the couch. These are the fundamental fuels you absolutely need to manage a side hustle after your day job or to stay disciplined as a new landlord. So the crucial takeaway here is that poor health isn't just about eventual medical bills down the road. It is a massive opportunity cost right now. If you're constantly exhausted and stressed out, you simply cannot work at full capacity. You're going to miss out on opportunities. Think of these health basics as literal performance enhancers for your wealth. Better sleep equals better financial decisions. Good nutrition gives you that consistent energy you need to build your side businesses. Okay, let's pull all of this together. What's vital to realize is that these 7 purchases are deeply connected. It's all about the long game. Avoiding a car payment frees up the cash for your index funds. Your strategic travel builds the credit score you need for your real estate. But remember, bad decisions compound too. Credit card debt and car loans work aggressively against you. And please, whatever you do, don't try to do all of this in one weekend. Prioritize gradually based on exactly where you are right now so you don't get overwhelmed and just give up on the whole shebang.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative question. Will you look back at age 30 with regret, wondering where all your money went, or will you look back with absolute freedom? Making these choices means resisting lifestyle inflation. It means you have to be totally okay with your peers calling you cheap or boring while you drive that older car. These aren't just financial decisions, they are character-building exercises. Start with just one of these purchases today and let compound interest do the heavy lifting for the rest of your life. Thanks so much for tuning in to The Explainer.